Okay, good morning again, everyone. This is Nick Petro at the National Weather Service in Raleigh with your weekly impact weather briefing, which actually is now a winter storm briefing. So typically every Monday we do these weekly briefings to talk about weather for the rest of the week, and certainly what focus on today is going to be the winter storm. So let's just go ahead with that, and we'll jump right into this. So you're probably wondering, well, okay, what has changed? If you saw our 5:30 slides, the PowerPoint slides this morning, not a whole lot has changed, but I will tell you that the models that are coming in right now, as we speak, we've got a new fresh set of models that are beginning to come in, and they're trending a little bit higher with amounts. So we may need to bump these numbers up here on this slide. This is right now our expected snowfall. It's kind of in the 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 3 inch range. But we may need to make some subtle adjustments, and once we hit that 3 inch number, that reaches winter storm warning criteria. So we're considering areas that may need winter storm warnings. If any of those are issued here, you'll see that this afternoon. So that is the trend. Let me just show you real quick here current observations. Bear with me for just a second while I switch screens here, and you can see. You can see to our west, this is the area that we're kind of keeping an eye on. This is all falling. This is the weather system, and this is all falling as mostly as snow here. So anyway, I can confirm that. You can see the temperatures. Those numbers are temperatures. Look how cold it is. We're talking readings here in the teens and 20s where it's snowing. So it's a very efficient snowfall. You're getting ratios of 15 to 20 to 1, which basically means for every inch of liquid would equal 10 inches. If it was 10 to 1, for every inch of liquid you would have 10 inches of snow. So 20 to 1, for every inch of liquid you'd have 20 inches of snow. So the higher those ratios, the more efficiently it snows, and the more it accumulates, and the deeper it gets. Fluffier too, of course, as it gets colder. It's all based on temperatures. So when you're falling into a cold air mass like that, certainly those ratios can be much higher, thus leading to higher amounts. But as you can see, this is all snow down here in this area here to our west in the Tennessee Valley, and even into the deep south. And you're probably wondering, well, what has fallen so far? And these are actual snowfall amounts from spotters in these areas. And as we zoom in, you can see these bands of snow. These bands of snow have put down from 1.5 inches to as much as 4 or 5 inches in spots, and even further south into the deep south, we're seeing 1.5 to 3 inch snow amounts from some of these bands. So anyway, yeah, that's looking at what has happened so far. Certainly, we're paying close attention to this upstream. Certainly, we can use this as a guidance for what may happen over our area. So let me go back to the slides here, and let's make sure. Okay, it looks like everybody's on the slides now. So not a whole lot has changed in the actual slides from what you have received at 5:30 this morning. Our main concerns are snow and the obvious hazardous travel that will come with it. And then tomorrow night, we're concerned about subsequently cold temperatures. And as you saw from 2 weeks ago, remember where there was heavy snowpack, it got particularly cold. Anywhere there's snowpack on the ground, low temperatures are even colder. It sometimes could be 5 to 10 degrees or more colder where there is a snowpack versus places where there is no snowpack. So we're concerned about all of central North Carolina for this snow, and late tonight through Wednesday, that'll be tomorrow night into Thursday morning for those wind chill concerns. And then of course, with the snow and then subsequent cold temperatures, obviously that's going to create treacherous road conditions, really from tomorrow morning or late tonight tomorrow morning right through Thursday morning, and really even perhaps even after that, depending on how long it takes to warm up and get some sun. So we're concerned about significant snows and travel impacts, and obviously, as I pointed out, wind chills. That's just another way of looking at it. So what about amounts? Let me come back to this for a minute, because I want to before I show you the amounts, I want to show you this timing. Because we're thinking that band that I just showed you at the beginning of this briefing that's occurring over the Tennessee Valley, that will begin showing up across the Triad and Western Piedmont, that leading edge, during the midnight to 2 a.m. time frame tonight. So, we're talking what, 12 hours from now, we're going to begin to see perhaps starting as a very, very brief period of mixed precip. The green on these images, by the way, represents rain, and the peach color represents sleet and perhaps some freezing rain mixed in, and the pinks and blues represent snow. Before I email these slides out, I'll add that legend there. But basically, we're expecting a very brief period of mixed precip, maybe even some rain on the far eastern edge of the snow shield, precip shield. But anywhere it starts out as rain or mixed precip, that'll only be brief. It'll quickly change over to all snow. By 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, we expect the light to moderate snow will be underway for areas west of the US 1 corridor. And then by 6 to 8 a.m. Wednesday morning, basically tomorrow morning's rush hour, typical rush hour commute, there's going to be pretty much light to moderate snow falling across pretty much all of central North Carolina. And certainly beginning to see those, because it'll be so cold, we'll quickly see road conditions really, really deteriorate, before the morning rush. So anyway, it's coming in tonight, overnight. So that's when it starts to basically evolve from west to east. And then during the daytime tomorrow, after say 9 o'clock, we're going to see pretty much a pretty solid shield of moderate snow across much of central North Carolina. Perhaps by 11 o'clock, it'll be lightening up across the Triad, maybe Forsyth County and points north and west might begin to wind down there. Certainly by noon to 2 p.m., we'll start to see that back edge move east of the Triad, and things will begin to lighten up even across the rest of central North Carolina. And then, by 3 to 5 p.m. tomorrow, we expect it'll be over across the Triad and really over west of the US 1 corridor. Certainly, by after 6 p.m., it should be gone across all of central North Carolina. It'll be over by evening hours. But I will point out, don't be surprised if it ends right as it ends, as the back edge is exiting. Don't be surprised if it changes to a light freezing drizzle. And without getting too deep into the science, sometimes these events dry out from the top of the atmosphere down, and when that happens, even though it's cold enough and below freezing, sometimes that may not support snowflake formation. We just end up with a light freezing drizzle. That won't last long, and we're not expecting much in the way of ice accumulation on that back edge as it winds down. Again, snow will be over across all of central North Carolina by the evening hours. This will be a very quick hitting system, maybe a 6-hour period of snowfall for most of central North Carolina. Quick hitting in the morning, gone by evening, mostly a daytime event. So anyway, that's the way it's shaping up. Now, okay, when you add all that up, what about amounts? What are we going to get out of all this? And this is our range of possible snow accumulations, our probabilistic snow. And on the lower left, this is the scenario where we expect at least this amount, at least. On the lower right, that is like kind of more of a worst case scenario. If the worst case scenario comes to pass, we could be looking at a 4 to 5 inch snow event. But the image in the middle is based on the range of model solutions being considered. Again, given the range of model solutions, this graphic in the middle shows the solution that is most likely to occur, and that represents our official forecast. And I will point out, this is based on model runs from last night. New model runs are coming in now, and they're trending up a little bit with amounts. So this middle graphic may need to be bumped up a little bit. So our forecasters, who are literally 15 feet behind me, poring over all the data, they're making those considerations right now, and they're going to be tweaking these graphics here and these numbers as we head through the early afternoon. Bottom line is, expect at least an inch or two of snow across most of central North Carolina, and it could be as much as 4 or 5 inches. Could there be a band of higher amounts, a 6-inch swath somewhere? Absolutely. There absolutely could be a narrow band. You might remember that narrow band that came across places from Richmond County up to Southern Pines and up towards Sanford. Remember that event 2 weeks ago where there was kind of a narrow swath of heavier amount? Something like that could happen again. But where that would happen, that's just too difficult to pin down right now. It's just right now we just don't have the ability to say where that little that narrow swath of higher amounts will be. But we're fairly confident somewhere there's going to be a narrow corridor of higher amounts. Most places should see 1 to 3, but perhaps higher amounts in very localized locations. All right, so I already showed these 2 graphics. This basically conveys what I just showed on the previous graphics. Let's wrap this up with wind chills for Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And again, that snowpack on the ground is going to make things, ambient temperatures very cold. You throw in the wind, and we're going to have very dangerous wind chill readings. So nobody should be out anyway because of the treacherous travel conditions and snow-covered roads. But do keep this in mind. All right. So wrapping this all up, we're going to see at least, we're going to see a snow accumulation out of this. Right now, our best forecast, most confident scenario calls for 1 to 3 inches across a big portion of central North Carolina. Our confidence is increasing. We've already issued a winter weather advisory for pretty much central North Carolina. And again, tomorrow morning, pre-sunrise, it'll be moving in, and the heaviest snow will be falling from about sunrise to about 3 p.m. And then during the evening, it's over. It's over by evening, and then followed that up by cold temperatures. All right.